Hello traders, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll be sharing with you a strategy on how I trade volatility indices, volatility 75, woman crash as you want to call it, the forex market, right? So I'm going to be doing a demonstration here. I'm going to be sharing with you. This is a trade that we actually took we took this trade on VIX 75, right? So I even gave the signal on our, so we will come to that later on, right? I'll share with you how to use price action, because price action works for all markets, right? So we are going to be demonstrating, and I'll be sharing with you guys how I'm able to take these trades and all of that, right? So let us just watch till the end, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. If you like seeing contents like this, make sure that you give me a thumbs up. I've already sent this on a free Telegram channel. The link is in this video's description below. So we are going to see how it unveils, right? So make sure you watch till the end, and make sure you subscribe, give me a like, join our free Telegram channel. The link in this video's description below. See you after the intro.
Okay, traders, welcome to my channel. I am Full Kingsley. By the grace of God, I bring to you guys strategies, tutorials on the forex market, volatility indices, metals like gold, Nasdaq, VIX 75, many other instruments. You want to subscribe to the channel by hitting on the subscribe button and notification bell to not miss out.
Okay, basically guys, this is jump 100 as you can see here, right? And we can use, remember, this analysis can be done in all markets, right? We are just using this because this is the current trade that we have just taken, and we are still taking another trade on it. So if you look at the market, guys, you see that we have a downtrending market because we are basically scalping here. We are scalping, so we are looking at the H1 to be the bigger time frame, because we might be entering the 5 minutes, the 15 minutes base, right? So basically, if you look at price here, you are going to see that we have impulsive move and pullback. And in trading, basically, we have this concept, this basic concept, that when you see price in a downtrend, when a resistance is broken, it becomes support, and if a support is broken, it becomes resistance. You usually see sometimes price coming back to find support where it was initially resistance, or finding resistance. Like for instance, you can see price do this, and then when it comes to rejects here and goes back, it comes back. The next time, this zone already becomes a kind of resistance in this situation when it's a downtrending market. And you see sometimes the price will usually respect this zone, and you can use it, you can combine your trend line, like maybe just connecting the highs like this, right? And you see that at this point where we have resistance, price will usually come and coincide, and sometimes it will just give you a high probability entry where you catch the next impulsive move. And you see that price could continue doing the same thing until we have a change in trend, right? So you see that in an uptrend we have the same thing, a resistance broken becomes support and all of that. And you see that sometimes price will move up and get to a zone, and then maybe start rejecting like this, right? When it rejects and finally break out of the zone, this zone becomes a what? Support. Now you usually see that price will come back to reject here, because this zone here initially was acting as a support, or price was not able to break above this zone easily. So when price comes back, comes back to retest the zone, you realize that this zone automatically act now as resistance. And sometimes you can use your trend lines to combine it, and you want to use, maybe it could still be a concept of demand supply. You can still be a zone where we have pending orders that are supposed to be filled, right? You have all of those imbalances and all of that. So at this point, you see that price pulls down and goes up, right? It pulls down and then goes up. And you remember, impulsive moves are usually followed by pullbacks, right? So impulsive moves are usually followed by pullbacks. So basically what you do now at this point is you are going to start by maybe just connecting using your trend line, because at this point we have this to be a trending market, right? We have this to be a trending market. So when we have a trending market, you usually find out that a trend line can act as resistance. So when you use your trend line like that, you are going to basically see that price, after rejecting, because we cannot use this low, right? Remember, when we use a low that is too steep, for those who have been following my videos on trend lines, you see that a trend line that is too downward like this, that's too steep, will easily get broken, right? So at this point in time, you see that price, after moving down, you see that it basically forms what? Resistance. It forms resistance, usually forms support, right? Support here. Okay, you can see this zone was a support before it became resistance. See how price rejected here, took out these highs, because we had this to be equal highs. So when price rejects and takes out these highs here and then close below, it gives a selling opportunity, because at this time those people who are selling on smaller time frame now basically be doing what? They are basically going to be stopped out, and then price is going to have enough liquidity to drop. Right now, if you look as price proceeds to the downward side, you are going to see that here you can see this clearer here. Now look at this zone here. Let's just extend it, and then you realize that this was a support zone. Price found support here a couple of times, and when price came back, right, what happened? It got rejected and then respected this zone here. Now let's extend it a little. Right, so a support zone or resistance zone is a complete zone. It's not just one single line. So when you reject once, twice, thrice, breaks, right, there are many people who will sell when price retests, like for instance here they will sell, right, but for me I usually want to ensure that there's break of structure and price comes back to test the zone, and then that is where we should probably be looking for our sales there, especially when price has taken this high here. You see this high, price has taken it up, cleared the high, and then it will give us a selling opportunity, especially around the zone. So if you refine that trend line there, you are basically going to see that that was a zone that got rejected. So basically you see now that what happened, price will usually breaks and then break the previous low. When it breaks this previous low here, right, what happened? It has created a new low, and then it has created what? A new resistance turn support. Now look, it reject once, twice, thrice. Now it finally broke out of this zone. So basically what should we be expecting? We're expecting this zone now to become what? Resistant in this situation, right? So if it becomes resistance, it means price will most likely be finding resistance around this zone when it pulls back, because now we have a pullback, we have an impulsive move, we have a pullback, we have an impulsive move, and price is pulling back. Now we have another option. Price could pull back right to this zone here, right? If you go to a bigger time frame, you could see that price could fall down. This is a minor zone. This is a major zone here, right? This is the zone that actually led to this low here. So at this point in time, there is a possibility that price could pull back to this zone here and then to drop, right? But now we have also a small opportunity here, right, which we could be considering like a B setup, here, where this zone here could act now as resistance. So basically if you refine the zone like this, that's how it's going to be, right? So it could be like that, and you see this is a small or minor setup here where you can be looking to sell, because we already have a couple of confluences, and that brings us to how we're able to drop this analysis here, right? So you can see further added the trend line at the top, added this trend line. Now if you look at it very well, you see that, look at the H1 here, actually had to connect this high, this zone here, to show, because it was actually a zone that initially acted as, you know, a trend line where price was rejecting within the same zone. So if you connect like this, you are going to see that, okay, this is the pattern in which price have been moving within. And what happened when price finally broke out, and you can see how price reacted to this trend line here, one, twice, thrice, the fourth time, right, the fourth time, and you could see that it actually coincides to this zone. That's why it makes this to look like a setup, right? Because just like the horizontal support and resistance trend lines, which are diagonal dynamic support and resistance, when they get broken, it have the same thing. So when a supporting trend line like this gets broken, what happened? It now start acting like a resistance. So meaning price is usually coming back to this trend line to act as resistance, and price is going to be dropping. So that is how you can use price action without using any indicator. Without using any indicator or any bots or whatever, to be able to accurately catch good trading setups in the market, right? Now we have volatility 75 here. This was also a situation where we had price creating series of higher highs and higher lows, right? Now you see we had impulsive and pullback, right? So when price created this, we had this zone here, which was a support, right? You can see that here, when price came up here, we had kind of consolidation. Price was not finding it easy to break through this zone here. Okay, you can see that the way price moved up and got here, we had price, consolidating here. Let's go to a smaller time frame so you can see what I'm saying, right? So at this point in time, volatility 75, we had price consolidating, and then what happened? It finally broke out, right? And when it went, now what happened? It came back now, and then this zone that was initially, consolidating from, which could also be a concept of demand and supply, where price usually consolidates and then creates a move and then pulls back to the same zone. When it pulls back and coincide with this trend line, what happened? It moved up, right? That gave a setup with confluence, and price moved now, created a new high, came back, right? At this point in time, this I didn't really consider this because I was expecting a pullback, a further pullback. But now this respected what this trend line here. It respected the trend line because it was the third time that price was hitting this trend line. And what happened? See how it moved up. Now notice how price reacts when it gets to the top of this trend line. That's to tell you that there is a resistance above here, right? So there's actually a resistance. You see that price is finding it difficult to break through that zone there. Now if price happens to pull back to this zone, right, if it pulls back here, okay, and then breaks, then you will realize that this zone here will now act as resistance next time. For instance, price could possibly do this and then comes down and then finally breaks out of this zone. When it comes back, you are going to find out that this zone is going to be a support term resistance, and that is it. So guys, that's basically what I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to get free signals on VIX 75, all those jump indices, volatility indices, join our free Telegram channel. The link is in this video description. We bring free signals to you guys every day. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.